there's one email from today.
Those are for, just from today.
Yeah, that one's the only one I haven't seen.
Got 5 minutes. Okay. Call the meeting to order then. This is the Board of Adjustment meeting for the city of Bettendorf for September 11th, 2025. Roll call.
Gallagher,
Yes.
Springer, Tansey,
Here.
Tombert, here, Vermillion.
Here.
Okay, so I have 4 out of 5, so we have a quorum. As I said, this is the Board of Adjustment. We're a 5-member board appointed by the mayor. Our function is to review variances and adjustments to issues with the city ordinances and how they apply. Tonight, I think we have 4 variances, it looks like. So, with that, we will move on to the minutes. You all received copies of the minutes of the last meeting. Do I have any additions or corrections to those minutes?
No.
I don't see any, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Minutes are approved. Then we'll move on to the next item is case number 25032. It's a variance. It's 4097 Lily Court. It's an R2 district. It's a variance to reduce the required rear yard setback from 25 feet to 15 feet to allow for the construction of a 15-foot by 16-foot deck, and it's submitted by, and I'm gonna kill this, I know, Sabashini, V.J. Kamar. I apologize. I'm sorry. Okay. And Greg Beck, do you have any, do you have a report?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, just because we're in different settings tonight.
Yeah.
I might suggest that if it's okay with you, we just have testimony given from our seats. And we just ask people to speak up and give your name and address before you give any testimony, if that's okay.
That seems-
We usually have a podium, a much more
people go
formal
to, yeah.
process, and I apologize for the change in venue tonight.
No problem.
No problem.
Go ahead, Greg, sorry.
Greg, go ahead.
The zoning ordinance provision is 11-5-5B, and that regards the setback being required at the necessary footage of 25 feet, and that's what the exception, or I should say, or variance is being requested, is being reduced to 15 feet. The future land use map designates the area, and we can look at the next slide. We can see the future land use is neighborhood light, and that everything surrounding this site pretty much is all R2. Next slide, please. Lot 34 is the lot of record. It has 25-foot rear yard and front yard setbacks. It is also encumbered to some extent by the cul-de-sac, the radii that was cut into that lot along with some of the others that are adjoining. The applicant's request is for the deck to go 10 feet into the rear yard setback. Could we see the next slide, please? This is a plot plan that shows lot 34. Lot 34 is large enough to qualify even as an R1 lot. It's over 10,000 square feet. It's 10,220 square feet. In this zoning district, it will only have to be 8,400 square feet to qualify as an R2 lot. The lot, again, as I mentioned, is impacted by the right-of-way of the cul-de-sac. All parcels within this addition, which is Highlands 5th Edition, are all zoned R2. Next slide, please. The dimensions of the standards are in R2 zoning, but as you can see, one boundary on this lot is shorter than the other, and it's approximately 16 feet shorter on the west boundary, and that is impacting where the dwelling unit was placed, which ergo impacts where the deck could be placed in this lot if it was in a different position, where you had this being in more of a lot that was facing level type street at a 90-degree angle, you would not see this type of configuration. This is a lot that is in a different position as opposed to some of the other surrounding lots within that subdivision. The proposed deck would be 240 square feet. If the variance were not granted, the largest deck that could be constructed with that width would be a 5x16 type deck. Next slide, please. Many of the houses that border the south essentially already have decks featured, but they have them featured not at the ground level almost as this one would be. As you can see in the rear yard, there's an opening there on the petitioner's deck, or I should say rear area here where they have stair steps down to a patio. Essentially, they want to build right to where that opening is to have the deck line for the floor meet where that entry is. But to the south of them, there are 5 properties that have decks that are at least 1 story in height, because there is a walkout under each one of these. In terms of the imposition, if you will, there's different characteristics for decks within this neighborhood. There's some that are highly elevated, that are more conspicuous and more visual and have a greater view of what might be there. And there are other decks that are more like the patio existing, except they're elevated maybe by 2 or 3 feet. So we can go to the next slide, if you will, please. This is the imposition of the property. As you can see, the cul-de-sac, and then there's an elevated deck behind the house directly, and then 2 that are straddling at either side on the south side. And essentially, the house has been pushed back because of the right-of-way in the cul-de-sac area. Next slide, please. What one might reference too is the fact that on this side of Lily Court on the south side, there is a neighboring house that is to the east that has a deck that is built in the same manner, very low to the ground, pretty much just walk out on the first floor. There is no ground floor underneath. The same can be said by the deck too at Starview Court, the one here on the right. That deck is 350 square feet. The other one is 229 square feet. The petitioner is asking for a deck to be 240 square feet. The one, as you see on the right, is actually within 10 feet of the rear lot line. Next slide, please. That slide is rather crimped. I don't know why it is, because it should show the entirety here. Essentially what we did is I evaluated 60 lots that were pretty much bordering Joshua Street, Thunder Ridge Road, Lily Court, Starview Drive, except for the top 6 lots that were up on LA, I believe it was. And there were 60 lots that I sampled. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yep, that's it. Okay, thank you. There were 60 lots I sampled. 44 of them have decks. So when we look at the characteristic of the neighborhood, we're trying to figure out exactly what this so-called characteristic deck may be. And as we've seen, there's varieties. They can be rather tall, they can be over a story maybe, they can be at almost the ground level. But the average size that we see here is 247 square feet in this area. And this is a contiguous area here. If you were to, essentially what you're looking at is double what would be a normal sample size of 30 is usually a minimum for doing any type of survey. So in looking at this, you're coming up with a deck that is average, that is slightly higher than what the petitioner is requesting. Next slide, please. And as we've gone through these standards, and I believe the board is aware that we've had a change, these are the standards that we'll be using here under the state statute to evaluate whether or not the petitioner has essentially practical difficulties that are unique to the property and that are not self-created. No longer is the word hardship particularly used. That standard was a higher standard that was used in the past, and that's why when precedent is cited for past approvals, that was actually done at a higher standard than what you're seeing here. Go to the next slide, please. Number 1, this is a rear yard setback bulk standard from which the relief is being requested. Meeting part of the test, the current lot shape along with the Lily Court right-of-way reduced the lot size relative to the lots not on the cul-de-sac and created practical difficulties not caused by the applicant. And that is the standard being used. It is not the lot that is purchased that is being used, it is the standard as to how the lot is established by the developer. Types of decks on lots on the south side of Lily Court have little elevation and are closer to the patio, I should say to a patio, in their height relative to the other surrounding decks. And as well, as I mentioned, the average size of decks in this vicinity is slightly larger than what the petitioner is requesting. And the staff in evaluating this position, if we go to the next slide, those are the precedents right there. That's 20 years worth. And under similar situations, staff could not find rejections for these type of situations as the petitioner is bringing forward toward us tonight. Essentially, staff makes a recommendation for approval of this particular request. I would ask, are there any questions?
That average includes elevated decks?
Yes, and it includes enclosed porch or,
Right,
three-season rooms, because they essentially were, additions on to.
Right.
Greg, is the yard behind where the deck is proposed to be located, is it fenced right there on the property line? So it's gonna be facing
Yes, the
fence
fence
there?
would be on that property line, yes.
That's what it looks like.
Any other questions? Oh, okay. Anybody wish to speak in favor of this application?
It's your
Your
choice.
turn, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank the board to consider our request. We are pretty new to this process, but I really
Sure,
appreciate
I understand.
how you conduct these meetings and be in favor of public, so thank you for that. And yeah, so as I think the staff mentioned very clearly that because of our property has a cul-de-sac, it's kind of pushed out. So that's why we are not able to provide the 25 feet. But yeah, still we are going with that 15 feet setback. And if you could approve, then we could go ahead with the construction and have our family enjoy the evening time on the deck. So, yeah.
It's my understanding that the deck you wanna build is like 2 or 3 feet off the ground,
Yeah, yeah,
close to the area where it looks like there's a
Yes.
cement slab right now.
yeah. It's going to be like 2-3 feet, yeah. So it might be like, yeah, closer to the steps, right? The same.
Right at the walkout.
Yeah. And moreover, like there are like few other properties, I think lot 30 or 34, I'm not sure. So it's kind of similar constraint. They constructed, yeah, beyond this setback. So,
Any questions from the commission? How about anybody else wish to speak in favor of the application? Seeing none. We have received 4 letters in opposition to the, lost my voice, sorry. Excuse me, I'm sorry. In opposition to the proposal. So those will be placed at record. I think we've all received copies of those. Does anyone else want to speak opposed to the application? I don't see anyone, okay. What's your pleasure? Any questions or anything else from the board?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second. Roll call?
Gallagher,
Yes.
Tansy,
Yes.
Tomber,
Yes.
Vermillion.
Yes.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Tip your service.
Full service right there.
That's full service, that's right. Okay,
So it's approved.
pardon me?
It's approved.
It's approved, yeah. So we go to the next case, which is case,
thank you.
Yep.
yep, 25-044. It's a variance at 6596 Cardinal Road. It's an R1. It's a variance to allow a 5-foot high fence and the required front yard setback to Blackbird Lane, located 20 feet from the property, and it's submitted by Tom Morrell. Staff report?
Mr. Chairman, the applicant is requesting a 5-foot high fence to be placed 10 feet into the front yard setback. And essentially, 5 feet high fences are a requirement for pools. Pool is not going into the front yard setback. Staff has consistently maintained the position of not approving pools in front yard setbacks. Next slide, please. Essentially, you're looking at a similar situation of the past case, except the zoning is R1 here. The neighborhood light condition for future land use is found throughout this area. And then R1 is the zoning classification for this subdivision. The swimming pool is an accessory use that is permitted within the R1 zoning classification. Next slide, please. This is lot 16, is a 30-foot front yard setback. It has 2 front yards. The fence essentially would be permitted if it was 4 feet in height. You can put it up to the property line actually and place it there. So we're looking at only 1 foot difference between what the applicant is requesting and what would be permitted. But the applicant is not requesting that the property line be the place of the fence. Next slide, please. This lot is 19,159 square feet, so it is almost double the size of what would be a regulation R1 lot. The lot is also impacted by a 20-foot wide drainage easement, total of which is 40 feet because it straddles all these lots. There are 12 of them on this block, that is used to convey stormwater and also has storm sewer underneath and maybe other utilities. Next slide, please. This is the sketch plan for the pool, and outlined in blue is the fence. The blue shaded area there of the gray blue is the pool area, and then the area there where the maroon line is essentially is the setback. And the pool has not been placed into the setback area. The drainage easement does not permit the pool to go back within 10 feet of the property line in the rear yard, which it normally would be allowed to do, but it is not in this instance. Next slide, please. You can also look here, the reason the pool is being suggested for this spot is that there's a great deal of slope, as you can see, between these 2 houses. And there's a drop off that occurs in the southwest portion of this lot that essentially would not allow the pool to go in unless there was a great deal of work being done, soil movement and the like. And also on this site, we're trying to facilitate groundwater flow to a designated detention area. So the pool's only position really is this flat area, as you see shown on the photo, where the pool might be placed. And that's essentially why the request is being made. Next slide, please. Also, there are other pools within the subdivision area. This pool is the smallest one that is proposed thus far. The rest of them range from 720 to 1,250 square feet, so the pool is not of an inordinate type size that is somehow pressuring the need for the area to be consumed. Next slide,
Could
please.
you go back to that slide with the picture of the house? Is that the house's front door?
No, that's
Okay,
the
that's
rear.
the side.
Yeah, that's the rear.
Rear, okay,
Mhm.
okay. It just looks like a front door.
Yeah, the 2 front
I
yards.
thought,
The stone.
okay. That's all.
And then we go to the step test again. There's the outline, and the next slide shows after that what we're looking at is a front yard requirement to basically have what amounts to a safety or security type mechanism put in place. And because of the drainage easement and also because of the sloping area, the pool is rather confined as to where it can go. It's meeting the other requirements. The pool is not being requested to go in here. So what we're looking at essentially is the 10-foot separation is something that's already permitted in side and rear yards for the pool to be separated from the rear lot line, and essentially the rear lot line then serves for the fence placement in many of these cases. So the 10-foot sort of fits in with that same design standard. It gives maneuverability to maintain this area and also use the pool without confining it. Next slide, please. Staff also would regard the following precedences that have been established, that the fence is not out of place, as we've seen in this subdivision cited here with these cases. The fences went up almost immediately during the construction phase or soon thereafter, and those fences were not used as a security mechanism for pools. This one is being used, so there is a greater need here for this particular fence if we would look at it from that perspective. Go to the next slide. I think, and staff does recommend approval for the placement of a 5-foot high fence within 20 feet of the front yard property line facing Blackbird Lane. I would ask if there are any questions, and then also we do the condition placed on there.
You said they've not requested to put the pool in?
No, the others hadn't. When those
Oh,
other
I
cases
gotcha.
came up, those other
Yes.
variance cases, essentially they got approval for hardships, but this is more pressing, if you will, because of the security nature. And those were also for 6-foot high fences that got approved. This, they're only asking for the bare minimum
Right.
height fence of 5 feet to securitize the pool.
And it's also subject to non-obstructive.
Yes.
Any questions for staff?
No.
Essentially, what we're asking for is to go from a 4-foot to a 5-foot fence in order to accommodate the pool.
And place it within.
Within, right.
Yeah, the setback.
Any other questions? Anyone wish to speak in favor of this?
I'll make a motion that we approve.
I think they're doing a favor.
Let's see.
Yeah, they're doing-
Does anybody want to speak in favor of it first? Maybe you shouldn't, but you may.
I will. I'm doing the general contracting on the home, and I realize that we have, being on the corner, we have 2 front yards considered, but the front yard is established already on Cardinal Road, and so from the intersection of Cardinal Road and Blackbird, we would actually have the fence about 70 feet into the backyard from anyone's view of coming up to the corner and obstructing anyone's view that way. So I don't think it obstructs anything or limits anyone's ability to see when they're driving.
Mr. Chairman, it might be helpful
Go ahead.
for the board to know what the materials were. Is it a wrought iron fence? Is it?
Do you know?
That was our proposal.
A wrought iron
It's
fence?
like an iron fence.
Or imitation wrought iron,
Yes.
one or the other? Yeah, okay.
Probably easier to see through that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else want to speak in favor of the project? How about anybody want to speak opposed to it? Don't see any. How about, now you can make your motion.
I don't want to now. I make a motion that we approve the variance on case number 25-044-VAR at 6596 Cardinal Road for a 5-foot high fence,
Subject to staff.
subject to
Staff comment, or restriction.
staff comments.
Yeah. Okay, do I have a second?
Sure.
I have a motion and a second, roll call.
Gallagher,
Yes.
Tansy,
Yes.
Converse,
Yes.
Vermillion.
Yes.
Okay. Next case is that passes, by the way. Our next case is 25-046. It's a variance for 6535 James Road. It's an R5 district. The variance to reduce the required buildings separation from 8 to 5 feet to allow for the construction of an accessory building submitted by Ryan Fick. Staff report.
Thank you, Chairman. I'll combine the next 2 cases in one presentation because the requests are identical. So I'll go first through 2546 and 2547. 2546 is 6535 James Road. Ryan Fick is the applicant. The request is constructed a detached garage, separated 5 feet from another structure instead of the required 8 feet. Here's the house right there. The proposed structure garage is a 570 square foot detached garage. The future land use designates this area as neighborhood light. The current zoning is R5 high density multifamily. I will note the high density zoning is a historic relic. The subdivision developed as a single family detached development consistent with R1 or R2 single family district. So it looks like an R1 district. And the zoning does not have any implications on the variance request, as the bulk standards for accessory structures are what's being looked at. For the Sunset Drive variance, 1828 Sunset Drive, the applicant is Jamie Spree. Also, the request is to construct a 5-foot, or a garage separated 5 feet from another structure, so 8 feet. The proposed structure is 616 square feet. Neighborhood light is on future land use map, and R2 single family district for the zoning. Again, zoning doesn't have any implications on the variance request, as these bulk standards apply to all accessory structures for this request. Looking at the proposed location for Mr. Fick, the garage would be located north and east of the house. All proposed setbacks and accessory structure size limitations, so we have a coverage, a total square footage allotment based on the footprint of the house. Those are being met, and just except for that separation. If it was separated more than 5 feet from the house, it would encroach into the side yard setback. If the structure size were reduced, the utility of the garage would be reduced from a 2-car garage to a 1-car garage. They have to narrow the width of the garage. On the Sunset Drive, this also meets all proposed setbacks and accessory structure size limitations, except for that separation requirement. A practical difficulty in this case is there's a utility pole pretty much dead center on this lot, on the rear lot line. That utility pole has support wires, guide wires, that are actually coming out, and they take up more than 300 square feet of the rear yard, preventing the garage to be located further into the rear yard. There's not an easement for that, but we'll save that for another day. Reducing the size of the garage is an option, but would have some effect on reducing the utility of the garage for storage and internal movements, that being making it shorter, not as deep. So staff done in the analysis and the recommendation, the city zoning code has required 8 feet between structures, a rule in place since at least 1977. Since then, the city has adopted International Building Code. That has changes every few years. Right now, it allows closer separations, 5 feet to the property line, or 3 feet to a dwelling or accessory structure without any additional fireproofing. You could attach it, of course, and this provision would not be being analyzed. Staff cannot identify the origin of the local rule, and I did note that they could attach a breezeway to this and really get around the provision. So the applicants are not proposing to attach anything, but that would by definition make these attached structures, and it would be they just have to adhere to this rear yard setbacks. Staff finds both requests demonstrate practical difficulties, comply with the current 2021 International Residential Code, and will not negatively affect neighboring properties. Approval is recommended for case 2546 variance and the case 2547 variance. Now I can take any questions.
Okay, does anybody have any questions? Either one of them? Okay, we'll take them one at a time.
Yeah.
The first one was the James Road property, Rob Fick. Does anyone want to speak in favor of that application? Anyone opposed to that application want to speak? If not, then commission, or somebody want to make a motion then?
You want separate motions for these?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, then I will move that we approve case 25046, variance at 6535 James Road.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Gallagher,
Yes.
Tansey,
Yes.
Tomberg,
Yes.
Vermillion.
Yes.
Okay, and then the next one is case 25047. It's a variance for 1828 Sunset Drive. It's an R2, and it's a request to reduce the required building separation from 8 to 5 feet to allow for a construction of an accessory building. We've heard the report. Does anyone wish to speak in favor of this application? Yes?
I would like it to approve, by the board for the simple fact that, as we did state before, there's a utility pole, which is fine for the easement 5 feet, but there is an 18-foot by 18-foot square footage that we can't utilize because of those utility anchors that are coming down. So that's like our best option to be able to put it there.
Okay. Anybody else in favor? Anybody opposed? Hearing none, how about a motion from the commission?
I'll move to approve case 25-047, the variance for 1828 Sunset Drive.
Okay, a second. We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Gallagher?
Yes.
Tansey?
Yes.
Converse?
Yes.
Vermillion?
Yes.
Okay, that passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else to come before us?
No.
Nope. Then I say we're adjourned. Thank you all for coming. It worked out all right.
You've done great, thank you.
Nice job.